Everybody, it's Dr. Debbie Pates. I will be reintroducing myself and getting started in a couple of minutes. So if you have a block, we're going to probably use a block today, and I'm not going to I'm not going to do any postures that I will suggest that you use a strap for, but if you do like to have a strap to make certain postures more accessible to your body, then you might want to grab one, and we will get started in a couple of minutes. I am excited to lead you through some yoga today, and I'll be right back. All right. Hey everybody, it is noon on Wednesday, July 8th. Let's see what my computer said. So I am going to get started leading you guys in some yoga. Why don't we, I forgot to introduce myself. So my name is Dr. Debbie Pates, and I am a psychologist at the UCCS Wellness Center. And I have had the privilege for a number of years to lead yoga at the Gallery of Contemporary Arts, which is also on campus. And because of COVID, we aren't doing that anymore, but hopefully we will in the future anyway. Sorry, my phone is distracting me. Hopefully we will once again join in and around the gallery on campus. In the meantime, for the foreseeable future, you are welcome to join me on Wednesdays at noon wherever you like to practice. So with that said, let's get started. Come on into child's pose. Bring your forehead, come on your knees, feet together. Knees can be together or apart, and let your forehead be on the mat. And because we are at home so much more, it's that much more important to really create a distinction between your workspace, your home space, everything else that's going on, and the space of yoga. So let that happen for the next few moments. Start to tap into your breath. Start to feel your body. Maybe you've already been feeling parts of your body. You know, a lot of times if you have pain, maybe because of an injury or we got a headache or an illness, you know, we're drawn. Our focus is drawn to your knee, your forehead, your ache, your sore throat, right? But I'd like you to, excuse me, also bring some awareness to places of your body that have a nice energy flow, that aren't hurting, that aren't bothering you right now. And be aware of the coexistence of both of those parts, both of those places in your physical self. And appreciate that while you might have these aching areas, maybe you have a sunburn and your skin's a little sore, you also have these places that don't hurt. And I invite you to bring awareness and appreciation to all of those parts of your body that you don't even really ever think about, like your lungs or your heart or the blood flowing through your body, your stomach that digests the food. Maybe we only think about it when we, again, when it bothers us. So some appreciation for all of that autonomic functioning that our body does for us every day, all the time. From the first inhale we take when we're born to the last exhale we take when we die. And all in between that time, our bodies function for us. So now let's give some love to that beautiful body. Push up onto your hands and knees and start to move through some cat-cows, awakening your spine. Letting the breath flow as you move. Maybe on the inhale, you're in cow, and on the exhale, as you're making your body concave, you're a cat. Maybe add in any other movements that feel right to you, to your body today in this moment. Remembering to breathe always through the practice, remembering to let the breath be the primary mechanism of action, the primary focus. And then come on back to neutral and walk your hands a little bit forward, tuck your toes, lift your knees, and come on into downward facing dog. Let your heels sink down toward the mat. Push your hands really firmly into the mat, especially under each of your fingers, right? Like where the finger ends and the fleshy part of your palm begins. All 5 fingers on both hands. 10 fleshy pads pushing into the earth. And then allowing your hips to rise and your heels to continue to sink. And then lift your right leg up. Let your left heel continue to go down. Bend your knee, open up your hip. I know this isn't usually how we start, so it's how we're starting today. How does that suit you? How does that sit with you? Bend your knee, make the circles, open up, get a full body yawn here. Let it be yummy. Make any noises you want. You're at your house alone. Who cares? And then put your right leg down and keeping some pressure in your right heel, moving toward the ground, lift up your left leg, bend your knee. Open the hip and circles if you want. How's the weight in your hands? Just noticing it, right? Are you leaning the hand here? Is your weight kind of square? Just noticing what is. And then, maybe, I want to change it, or that's interesting. Bring your left leg down. Shift forward into a high plank position. Breathe here, and then lower, exhale, chaturanga. Push back up, high plank. Lift your hips back up, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up again. This time, shift forward, but don't open up your hip, right? So keep your toes squared, hips squared rather. And an easy way to do that is point your pinky toe at the ground. Shift forward, high plank with your right leg. Chaturanga. High plank. Shift back, three-legged dog, right leg down. You know it's coming. Lift your left leg, point your pinky toe down. And since we held this for a minute while I blabbed on, let's hold it for another minute. On this side, inhale, that's enough. Shift forward. Chaturanga, low push-up. High push-up. Downward facing dog, put your left leg down. One more time on both feet. High plank, low plank, upward push-up position, high plank, downward facing dog. Whew, nice job, guys. While we're in the beginning phases, let's add some more familiar stuff. Walk to the top of your mat. Hang in ragdoll, hang in ragdoll. Feet hip width distance or wider, whatever you want. Maybe bend your elbows and tuck your hands in crook of opposite elbow. Opposite elbows, whatever you like. Maybe if you always, whatever way you grabbed or tucked, switch it. Who cares? Let it feel weird. Does it matter very much? No. These days we're doing lots of stuff that is unfamiliar, that feels different. This is a real minor one. Sit with what's coming up for you around it. Now release your hands and roll up to standing. Roll up, shoulders, head last. Shine your palms forward to the front. I'm not sure you guys can see my head. Inhale your arms up. Let's see if I can adjust this. And bring your hands into and bring your awareness to what's going on internally, just for a moment here, before we start to flow a little bit more. It's probably a little bit better for you guys to be able to see me. And then let's flow. We'll go do some just plain old, I'll start with the side stretch. Inhale your arms up. And I usually say grab your left wrist with your right hand and pull that left arm over. So there's an opportunity to get a nice stretch through your left side. You can go deeper if you want to bring your right hand down. I don't know that deeper is better or even more desirable for you, but there's another option. You can also keep your fingers interlaced and kind of steeple. I don't know if you can see me steeple your fingers, and then come on back up. Inhale up. If you have your hands clasped, switch the grip. Exhale over to the other side. So left hand grabbing right wrist, or fingers clasped with your index fingers pointing out, or left hand by your side. Either way, any way, whatever way works. And then inhale, back up and separate your arms. Squeeze your elbows towards your sides, shoulder blades up. Lift your ribs, lift your heart, lift your attitude. And then inhale your arms back up. Bring your hands together and bring some of that goodness into your heart. Let's flow now, Sun A. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, either hands through heart center or swan dive, come down with a flat back. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, put your hands down, step back to high plank. These can always be on the floor. Chaturanga, upward facing dog or cobra. Lift your hips, roll over your toes, exhale, and a downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up, pinky toe pointing down. Shift forward, chaturanga, high plank again. Shift forward, shift back down dog. left leg down, right side, lift your right leg up, shift forward, high plank, low plank, high plank, three-legged dog, left leg down, look in between. You know what, keep shifting, move your left foot forward, step forward, right foot forward, high plank, halfway lift, sorry, forward fold, arms up, rise with a flat back, so your stomach and your back muscles are working, hands together overhead, energy into your heart. Keep moving, arms up, forward fold, halfway lift, high plank, chaturanga, knees on or off the ground, of course, up dog or cobra, downward facing dog. Yeah, one more time, let's do it, but this time, left leg lifts first, pinky toe toward the ground, shift forward to high plank with your left leg lifted, chaturanga, high plank, downward facing dog, left leg down, right leg lifts, shift forward, chaturanga, high plank, downward facing dog, and as you bring your right foot down, step it through all the way to low lunge, follow with your left foot, forward fold, halfway lift, forward fold, sweep your arms up, rise, bring your hands together, and bring your hands to your heart. Inhale your arms up. Chair Utkatasana. Thunderbolt, awkward pose, chair pose, whatever you want to call it. Find a way to stay in this posture and breathe with some calmness. So maybe bring your hands lower than biceps by your ears. Maybe you don't bend your knees as much. So make a choice. If you want to have your feet together, then your knees are also together. But if your feet are apart, have your knees parallel to your feet. Knock me in. Breathe here. I know that this is challenging. That's, in fact, exactly why we're doing it. Because it's challenging and you get a chance to be in a challenging moment and breathe, breathe, breathe. And then nothing, not even COVID, we hope, lasts forever. Fold, fold. Halfway lift, inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold, fold, step back, high plank, low plank, up dog, and let's hold up dog. Lower your right hip to the floor, right thigh, whatever works, and look over your left shoulder. Try not to scrunch into your low back. And then roll to center. You can even just put both thighs on the floor here for a minute. So this is actually with both thighs on the floor. If you lower your hips a little bit, that's a traditional cobra. Anyway, come back up, and then roll, push into your right hand, roll on your left thigh, look over your right shoulder at your right foot or whatever works for you. Feel good, not push it too far. And then come on back and lower all the way down to your stomach. So your core is not only your stomach and your six-pack and all that, your core is your back too. So let's give the back a little love. Keep your hands in cobra right now. Roll your shoulders up and back and down. Keep your forehead down. I'm just lifting mine if you're looking so that my voice is less muffled. Shoulders up and back and down, and elbows in towards your body, hugging like little cricket legs. And roll your feet so that your pinky toes are on the ground. And with humility and no care in the world for how high you come up, and with a soft lower body, come up to cobra. Keep your pinky toes in the ground. Engage your back muscles. Roll your shoulders up and back and down, elbows tuck in. Really feel, this is super challenging, right? And it doesn't look like much. Maybe think about getting length through the crown of your head, moving the crown of your head forward, elbows up and back, shoulders up and back, pinky toes still on the floor, reconnect. And then come on down. Turn your head to the left, right ear on the mat. Arms alongside your body, palms facing up. Breathe. And close your eyes here. You can let this rest be real. It is real. Don't worry about what's coming up. Just rest here. All right. See, I hope you took advantage of it because we're going to move on. Bring your chin or your forehead back to the mat. And this time, turn your palms flat toward the floor. Spread your legs a little bit. And this time we're going to come into locust. So you can have your arms flat by your sides, or you can extend them out, shoulder height, or lower, anywhere in between. And then on an inhale, lift everything you can. Arms, legs, head, chest. How high can you lift your legs while also getting length? So don't crunch into the low back. Think about extending your toes back and your head forward and your arms up. Maybe your arms the highest part of your body, maybe not, whatever. Inhale and then let it go. Come down. Arms alongside your body, palms facing up, and turn your head opposite direction. Look right, left ear on the mat, and breathe. So you know that this rest isn't going to last all that long. Enjoy it while really allow yourself to drop. Right? So not getting into that anxiety of, oh my God, what's coming next? What's she going to do? First of all, you don't have to do it. All right, but here it is. Come on back to center. Clasp your hands behind your back this time. Maybe reconnect. Maybe roll your legs so that your pinky toes can touch the floor again. So kind of an inner rotation of your thighs, rolling your inner thighs up toward the ceiling, even as your legs are on the floor. And then again, we'll lift everything, bound locust this time. Breathe here. Breathe and lift. And if you want to try something different, extend your arms out in front of you. Superman. Let it be fun, you guys. Everything doesn't have to be so serious. My God, life is so hard these days. Just strengthen, maybe a little smile even here right now. And then release. Hands alongside your body, palms facing up, right ear on the mat, look left. Notice how close your chin is to your shoulder this time. And if your chin is really close to your shoulder, see whether keeping your ear on the mat, you can lift your chin away from your shoulder a little bit. Take some deep breaths. We got one more back strengthener here. A lot of heart opening, a lot of back bending. Early in the practice, so pace yourself, right? Last one is bow pose, Dhanurasana. So bend your feet, bend your knees, grab your feet or your ankles, and kick and lift. You want to have your knees about hip width. You want to have your hands on the outside of your feet so that you can allow the kick to open up your shoulders. Maybe you're feeling a quad stretch. Just feel what you feel. Hopefully you're not feeling a lot of tension in your low back. Lift. 2 more really good breaths. Really honest breaths. 1 more honest inhale and exhale. Release. Down. Arms by your side. Turn your head to the right, left ear on the mat. Maybe bend your knees and rock your feet, rock your legs back and forth, side to side. Come on, head back center, hands underneath your shoulders, and just come on up into a downward facing dog. You don't have to make it fancy. I'm on my knees here for a sec. Just making my way to down dog. And check out how your low back feels here. So ideally, if you were honoring what your body has got, meaning flexibility or strength or whatever, injury history, your back is not going to be hurting right now. Down dog is a nice counter stretch to back bending. And then come on forward Drop your knees to your mat. Walk forward a little bit. Separate your feet wider than your hips. If you have a block, you might grab it here. Separate your feet wider than your hips and sit down in between your heels. So if your butt is on the ground now, good. If your butt is not on the ground, hang on, slide the block underneath, okay? You're going to get the same stretch. It's just more accommodating for your body. But if your butt is on the ground, if you're on a block, just stay as is. If this is extra super intense still, you can always come forward a little bit. If you're not on a block and you have the flexibility, you might have done this already, walk back. And if you can get back, maybe on your elbows, maybe all the way onto your back. If you're all the way onto your back, then you might want to bring your arms overhead and clasp opposite elbow on the floor over your head. Breathe. We're going to hang out here for a minute, so breathe. I'm not timing it, it's not literally a minute, but just breathe into what you're feeling. As we stay in the posture, keep your knees on the ground, you might be able to go a little bit deeper into it, right? You might not be. Don't force your body to open, but allow your body to open. And be present with that opening, with what's showing up. You know, if you've been outdoors a lot, hiking and biking a lot, then your quads might be tired. And they might not want you to go down as far. Honor what's showing up. And please breathe. Especially when it gets intense. Breathe. And then wherever you are, walk up, maybe on your elbows, you come forward into a hands and knees position. Take a cat-cow or two to just kind of clean the palate. And then make your way into a downward facing dog. And check out how you feel. We're roughly halfway, well, it's 24 minutes after. So body's warmer. All right, we're going to do a sequence where you might want to use your blocks. So if you have a block and you want to use it, have it handy. And then from downward facing dog, lift your right leg up. Then you're going to bring it through low lunge. Stay on your back. Actually, you know what? Spin your back foot flat and rise to warrior one. Maybe push into your back foot to get your left hip point facing forward. Maybe get a little juicy in your back knee. And notice what's going on. I just became aware of this, that I was sort of pushing out my belly and my lower rib cage. So we're going to engage your core again and bring your lower ribs in. If you weren't doing that, don't worry about it, but just be aware of, you know, where your core is, and then keeping your right knee tracking out toward your right pinky toe. Open up, warrior two. Right hand is reaching forward, maybe gazing over your right hand, left arm reaching out behind you, and then straighten. And here's where we're going to use the block, Trikonasana triangle. I didn't bring my own block close enough. Trikonasana triangle, if you want to use the block here. Reach forward, 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 forward. With your right hand, sending your left hip out, trying to get a lot of length on both sides of your body. Can't reach and tilt anymore. Put your hand on your right shin, maybe your right thigh, depending on how far you were able to go down. When I first started doing this posture, maybe on the block, or outside of your leg. When I first started doing this posture, to really honestly keep both sides of my body fairly flat, I could not go down very far at all. My hand was on my thigh. There's nothing wrong with that. That's where my body was, and now it's further. So be humble and be kind to yourself rather than mean to yourself. Come on up and turn your left foot in. Well, it is already turned in, but move your left foot in a little bit closer to your right foot and try to turn both feet, moving in a twisting triangle. Try to turn both feet forward toward the front of your mat. Left heel on the ground. So have your foot moved in as far as you need to have your left heel on the ground. Keep your block where it is, on the outside of your right leg. Or I didn't exactly coach that, but anyway. Both hands on your hips and steering wheel so that both of your hips are facing forward. Your sacrum is squared. Keep your right hand on your right hip. Lift your left arm up and come on down about halfway. You could soften your right knee if you need to, but you're wanting to keep your right knee towards straight, and then allow your left hand to come down, maybe directly underneath your left shoulder. You could put your block there, maybe on your right shin, maybe on the block on the outside of your right foot. Maybe you lift your right arm up, maybe you look up at that arm, and I hope you're breathing. Please breathe, breathe. What blocks your path is your path. Breathe. Breathe, twist, balance, and fold, pyramid, over your front right thigh, Russian. Land your right thigh, really. So bend your knee a little bit if you need to. That's going to actually help release your hamstring more if your hamstring is needing release. If you want to work on your quadricep releasing and getting a stretch or a break here, you can straighten your right leg completely, and you might need to use your block to be able to do that. I prefer to bend my knee a little bit softly. And then just keep your right foot where it is. Put your hands down on the ground. Step your left foot back. Step your right foot back to meet it. Downward facing dog. Notice what's going on one side of the body to the other. Enjoy this very short break, and then lift your left leg. Lift your left leg up and bring it through for a low lunge. Spin your right foot flat. Switch your block position so it's on the outside of your left foot this time, and rise on up to Warrior One. So how's Warrior One in this side different than it was on the other side? Check in with your stomach and your rib cage, trying not to push your belly out unless you're extra super proud of it, and then you push it out a little bit. And then open up Warrior Two, left knee tracking over your left pinky toe, left hand reaching out forward. Maybe your gaze is over your left fingertips. If that hurts you, don't do it. If any of these postures hurt you, don't do them. You figure out a way to do them that doesn't hurt. Straighten your left knee, or you skip them completely. Reach, moving into Trikonasana, triangle pose. And wherever you like it to be, on the block, on the thigh. I like to think about lengthening the crown of my head forward while trying to lengthen my hips back. Breathe. Getting length and maybe even some traction in your spine. Allowing the breath to flow freely. Right? So maybe that's a barometer in any of these poses. How freely is your breath flowing? How freely does the energy feel like it's flowing in different parts of your body? And can you find a version of the posture where your energy feels looser, freer? Come on up, moving into twisting triangle. So bring your right leg, your back leg back closer towards your front leg. Hands on hips, steering wheel your hips to the front. Then keep your left hand on your left hip, right arm up, halfway down. So a bit of a half lift here. And then your right arm down, either just under your right shoulder, left shin, outside of your left shin on the block. Perhaps you lift your left arm up. Maybe you look up at that left hand. Trying to continue to get length. Trying to continue to allow your sacrum to be flat. It's not easy, but that doesn't mean it's not worth it. In fact, because it is not easy, maybe, that's what makes it worth it. Breathe, breathe. Another breath, inhale, lengthen, and exhale, twist. And then fold over your left knee, right? So maybe you soften that knee. to allow more release in your left hamstring. Perhaps you don't need to. Let your neck be soft. This isn't a balancing posture. Let your neck be heavy. You don't need a drishti. And then move the block out of your way for the moment. Then come on back, just step back down dog. You know what? Drop your knees, child's pose. Take a couple of breaths, child's pose. Now we are halfway through. Breathe. And then from child's pose, push back into a down dog. Look in between your hands and make your way to the top of your mat. Keep your roll up. Keep your block not too far. We're going to do some balancing postures. So come on into chair pose, Utkatasana. And let's do eagle. Bring your right arm under, right leg up and over. Squeeze your thighs together. Imagine that you're leaning against a back wall. So you want your torso upright here. Maybe you lift your elbows and then move your shoulder blades further onto your back. Maybe you sink down further into your imaginary chair, sliding your arm, sliding your back along that wall. We're trying, right? We're trying. That's all you can do. So all you can do is try. And then release. Lift your arms up. Utkatasana, left arm under, left leg over. Again, back up against the wall. Elbows up, shoulders back. Notice how that helps your back be against that imaginary wall. Your stomach muscles are engaged here. Back is working. Everything's working. Everything's going on here, right? Release. Inhale your arms up. Chair again and eagle again. Right arm under, right leg up and over. Just go into it. And maybe this time you want to take that same version. You want to take a different version of eagle. It doesn't matter. Just pick, breathe, be, and then release. Other side. Arms up, chair, left arm under, left leg over. Get it while you can. Get it while you can. High, high, high. Release. Come on up. Dancer. Bring your right elbow to your right rib cage. And keeping your thumb hitchhiking back, just drop your right hand down. Lift up your right leg. Grab your foot from the inside. Bring your knees back together and kick. Reach forward with your left hand. Drive your right knee straight back. Open up your right shoulder, but with the kick. And breathe. Eyes on one unmoving point. Drishti helps you balance. Whenever you feel like you need to, release. Other side. Lift your arms up. Bring your left elbow by your left rib cage. Drop your hand back. Grab your left on the inside. Your thumb continues to point back. Bring your knees back together and drive your left knee straight back. Allow the kick to open up your shoulder. Reach forward. So we're back bending. We're opening our hearts. Open up your heart. There's a lot of division in our world right now, and oh God, every way, right? Racially, politically, whether you're wearing a mask or not. Open your heart. And release. Open your heart. We're going to do airplane into, I'm here with my head, I don't know if you can see it. We're going to do airplane into half moon. So you might want to grab your block again and step to the top of your mat. Have the block just somewhere up by the front of your mat and step. You don't want to hit it with your face, so whatever. Figure this out for yourself. Stand on both feet and shine your shoulders up and back and down. And then begin to shift the weight into your right leg, right foot. And start to. So notice how your hands are by your side and you're standing in Tadasana, mountain pose here. Keep that mountain in your body. Keep the alignment leg to torso. Don't worry about how far you go down. You might even bring your arms a little bit behind you if you want. And then begin to teeter-totter forward into airplane. So allow Tadasana to stay in your body as you come down. So only go down as far as you can while keeping that straight line. Do your best. You might not really be able to see. Keep going as far as you think you can. And then bring your hands to your heart and open up in a half moon. So here's where you might put your hand on that block and turn your body open to the left side rather. And lift your left arm up, lift your left leg up, and try to balance so that every muscle here, a lot of muscles working here. And then turn your body to face the floor, and one standing splits. You're standing on your right leg, your left leg is lifted. Inhale and exhale here. And then bring your left leg down. And replace the block. You know where we're going, so where do you want your block in position to move into half moon? And then airplane. Remember, Tadasana in your upper body, in your whole body. Tadasana in your body. And then shift your weight into your left leg and try to keep that alignment. So you're trying to not look like a broken umbrella. I don't know what you're trying to look like. And you know, you go as far as you can on this side. Which may be more than the other side, maybe less than the other side. Take your time. Allow your body to soften into the posture rather than jamming into the posture. So breath by breath, we explore what's there for us. Hands into heart center. Open up into half moon. Left hand comes down. Right arm goes up. Try to open your hips to the side so that your body is open, facing the side, not facing down. Breathe. Please breathe. Feels good, enjoy it. And then right leg stays up, bring your hands down for the breath and standing splits. Bring your right leg down and roll up to standing. And come to the top of your space. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, step back to a high plank, lower chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up, bend your knee, bring it through low lunge. Keep your left heel up this time and come into crescent. Push your heel, your left heel back and bring your left hip forward. Keep your knee up or down. Bring your hands to your heart. Shift your torso forward. And then using your core, turn to the side. And then allow your left elbow to come on the outside of your right thigh. Twist. You want to drop your knee, drop your knee. You want to explore this posture with your knee up, do that. Which one feels better? Which one is going to serve your body better today? And then come on up and just come in a runner's lunge. So drop your back knee if it was not dropped already. Toe heel your right foot up. And bring your body to the inside of your right foot, leg, and sink down to your degree. You can put your elbows on the block. Breathe. Notice how the breath can really help you soften. Or maybe your torso does come further and further down. Putting your elbows on the ground becomes more accessible. Or not. Maybe even just in your mind, you feel that softening. Softening around resistance, perhaps. And then your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your left toes. Lift your left knee. Step back, high plank. Lift your hips. Downward facing dog. Lift your right leg again. Right leg again. Bring it through low lunge. Back heel stays lifted. Rise to crescent. Open warrior two. Flip your right palm. Reverse your warrior. So maybe this time you want to bring your left hand behind your back. Maybe you can even slither your left fingers onto the top of your right thigh. Reach your right knee forward. Your right hand back. Left shoulder opening. And then helicopter down. Step back, high plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing. Dog with your left leg up. Low lunge. High, crescent lunge. Rise to crescent lunge. Right heel's pushing back. Right hip reaching forward. So creating dynamic opposition. Getting some nice stretch in your leg here. Bring your hands into your heart. Shift forward and use your core strength to twist you to the left. And then put your right elbow on the outside of your left knee. We try to take the lower body position that you took on the other side. Try. Really enjoying, if you can, this twist. Said to cleanse the organs, squeezing them together, compressing, rinsing, release runner's lunge. Inside of your left foot, toe heel your left foot up, and come down. Breath. Softness, kindness, patience. That's what we all need right now. You know, it's like a war zone out there in a really quiet, peaceful way. Every time I go to the store, it feels like the mask wearers versus the non-mask wearers. Even in stores where, I don't know, I would expect most people would be wearing masks. I was at Natural Grocers yesterday, and definitely not everybody was wearing masks. And maybe that's an assumption I have about the kind of people that shop in stores like that. But anyway, there it is, right? So we confront these things, our biases, our prejudices, if you want to call them that. They are prejudices. It's okay. So we just look at them, we honor them, not honor them, but like recognize that they're there. And then see, what do we want to do about that? All right. Tuck your right toe, well, actually, toe heel your foot in first. Hands on either side of your left foot now. Tuck your right toes, lift your right knee, and step back, high plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Lift your left leg again, low lunge. Rise up again to crescent, warrior two, flip your left palm and reverse your warrior. If you want to bring your right hand behind your back, maybe you slither your right fingertips onto the top of your left thigh, but don't let that distract from the rest of the pose. You're still reaching your left knee forward and your left hand back. And then windmill down, chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog. And you know what? How about this? Bring your right leg just right into pigeon. And I'm going to time this. So while you guys are getting adjusted, I'm going to find my timer here. And we'll do 2 minutes in pigeon. There's no one, when somebody says, I'm colorblind, nobody's colorblind. I mean, we're just not. And, well, some people are colorblind, literally. But that's not what I'm talking about. And, of course, you know that. But, in fact, I don't know that we want to be colorblind, you know. I want people to recognize what is unique about me and my skin color and the culture, life experience that comes with it. We're halfway through this pose. That might be my religion, or that might be my experience growing up in another culture, or whatever it is, right? But I think I'm colorblind. I understand that. I think the people who say that intend to mean I'm fair to everybody, but I wonder whether being actually fair to everybody is acknowledging all of our uniquenesses, including the challenges that come along with that, and the wonderful things to celebrate that also come along with that. So we need to be aware of our biases, and we need to be aware of our prejudices in order to work with them. It's like what I would say to a client in therapy: until you look at something openly and honestly, no matter how cringeworthy it is, you can't begin to change it. So we're going to come out of this posture now. Step back in a downward facing dog, or hands and knees, or just however you want. Left knee forward, and come on into pigeon. And we are gonna spend 2 minutes on the clock starting now. Breathe. I'm here with you, but I'm gonna let you be in your own thoughts for a moment. I will give you a 1 minute warning. All right, we're 1 minute into this pose. Breathe, please breathe. 1 more minute. And think about what you have acknowledged or what you haven't acknowledged, right? I mean, maybe most of us probably have begun going out, and, I don't know what camp you're in. I hope you're in the mask wearing camp. I really do think that, right, if it's true that wearing a mask protects other people, right? At the end of each practice, we say namaste, and that means I bow to you, right? The best part of me honors, sees, and respects the best part of you. Isn't that wearing a mask? I'm protecting you. But anyway, wherever you are, right, just bring to your awareness. What do you feel about the other people? Oh, living in fear, or whatever. And all right, begin to make your way out of this. And you're right. So you know what I want to do is come into a seated pose here. So maybe just sitting over on your left hip and swinging your right leg around and come into a straddle and walk forward. Wide-legged forward bend. We haven't done any of these standing today, so we're going to do one seated. I'm going to be able to my eye on the time here. So you're trying to get length. Maybe you grab your big toes to help pull your torso forward a little bit. Maybe you have the flexibility to have your legs out really wide, much wider than mine are, or less wide than mine are. But do what your body can do, and then you're getting the maximum benefit from the pose. Walking your fingers forward if that's what feels nice to you. Breathing in that same principle of allowing inhale. This is through all of the postures, you guys, right? All of the shapes we take with our bodies during yoga practice. The inhale is a lengthening, and the exhale is a softening. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, soften. Lengthen and soften. And then pick a side, right or left, and crawl your body over to that side. I'm going to go right. So what I want you to do is I am going right. Maybe go right with me if you want. I'm going to keep my left hip, my left butt cheek on the ground as I try to lengthen over my right leg. So I'm not lifting my left side to fake going deeper. I'm trying to really get that length and that stretch. And if you're looking at me, it probably doesn't look that impressive. I don't have a lot of flexibility here. In general, less so today. I have some ideas why, but not positive, but who cares? Right? This is the stretch my body needs today. If you've been stretching like me, put straight over your leg. Maybe you want to bring your right elbow inside your right knee and roll your chest open, roll your heart open, roll your right rib cage under, and your left arm up. Bicep by your left ear. Keep your left butt on the ground. And maybe you can reach your right toes with your left hand. Maybe you can't. Just maybe you can, maybe you can't. That's all. Going back up center. Come back down the center. And then walk over toward the opposite side. If you're with me, that would be the left side. Keep your right butt cheek down and forward fold directly over the leg. So try to square your torso over your leg, reaching the crown of your head toward your toes. Probably you have a different level of flexibility on this side. That's the way most people's bodies are. Breathing. Inhale is your lengthener, exhale is your softener. And we try to balance lengthening, which is an engagement, and softening, which is a release. Left elbow on the inside of your left leg. Roll your left rib cage under. You can use your hands to help facilitate this a little. Maybe reach your right bicep by your right ear. Keep your right butt cheek on the ground. Try to grab your left foot. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Who cares? I promise you, there are way, 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 way more important things to get worked up about in life than that. Come on back up. And bring your feet together. Roll down onto your back. We're going to do a plow into shoulder stand. So position yourself on your mat if your furniture is an issue. Hands by your sides, a little bit of momentum, hips up, feet toward the floor overhead. And then if your hands aren't on your back already, put your arms on your back and lift your legs up. Let your hips sink into your hand. So you want your chin, your chest to fall away from your chin a little bit, taking pressure off your neck. Let it slow down this time. Do a few breaths. Notice your reactivity, your urges to move. I know this posture is hard, so be. And bring your feet back to plow. Hands on the ground. All the way down. Core muscles allowing your legs to float to the floor. And then bend your knees and just a simple, simple twist. Drop your knees to the left and turn your head to the right. If you want a more complicated twist, go for it. Center and switch. Knees right, head left. Don't try hard. Try easy. Don't strain, don't force. Back to center. Shavasana. Lay on your back. Palms face up. Let your feet flop open. If this hurts your back in any way, you can choose to lay on your side. You can always bend your knees to take some of the pressure out of your low back. Just let your body be heavy. Stay lying on your back. I'm going to read you a poem by the poet William Carlos Williams. It's called "This Is Just to Say." I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox, and which you probably were saving for breakfast. Forgive me, they were delicious, so sweet and so cold. Summertime, you guys. As Michael Franti says, everything is better in the summertime. And this year, I don't know, this is a pretty interesting summer. But you know what? The days are long, and the weather, it's a super hot week, but the weather is kind, and the flowers are blooming, and the trees are budding. Breathe. And even with all of the garbage going on in the world, all of the turmoil, all of the, maybe we could even call it recorrections. corrections, balancing that needs to happen. Even with all of that important stuff happening. And yeah, we get upset about it sometimes. That's okay. But it's a wonderful, beautiful world, full of kindness and light. We can choose to see that too. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat. I bow to you. Namaste. Moving you in Shavasana if you're done with your practice, and begin to come to seated and stay in Shavasana as long as you have time for. Thank you for joining me. As always, questions, comments, and feedback. See you next Wednesday.